In early 2020, the entertainment world held its breath, watching as Xiao Zhan, the breakout star of the Untamed, slowly began resurfacing after a long and painful silence. His fans, still fiercely loyal despite everything, were thrilled when rumors began to swirl about his return to the public eye. This time, not through drama or music, but through the pages of Esquire China, one of the country's most respected men's fashion magazines. The rumors were sparked by behind-the-scenes photos allegedly taken during a private shoot, showing Xiao Zhan dressed in high fashion, bathed in studio lights, with stylists and photographers bustling around. It was clear this wasn't just a casual shoot, it was a full editorial spread. And accompanying the photo shoot? A rare, in-depth interview lasting more than 3 hours, during which Xiao Zhan reportedly opened up for the first time about the emotional toll of the controversies surrounding him. This was supposed to be a moment of redemption, a turning point. After being vilified for events beyond his control, Xiao Zhan was finally going to speak his truth, not through reactionary social media posts, but through sincere storytelling. Fans waited eagerly for the May 2020 issue to hit shelves, hoping to see their idol's face on the cover again. But they never got the chance. What came next stunned everyone. Just weeks before the magazine's release, a powerful backlash erupted online. Antifans, still riding the wave of anger from earlier that year, launched a coordinated attack against the magazine. They accused Esquire of enabling a problematic celebrity, ignoring the fact that Xiao Zhan himself had said little and had been largely absent from public events. Threats of boycotts, unsubscribing from the magazine, and flooding their social media platforms with hate began to pile up. The pressure was intense, and despite Xiao Zhan's efforts to remain silent and professional throughout the ordeal, Esquire caved. They quietly swapped Xiao Zhan's cover story for another celebrity, erasing his shoot and interview from their official content calendar. It was as though the entire production had never happened. To fans, it was a slap in the face, not just to them, but to Xiao Zhan, who had worked so hard to carefully rebuild his image through hard work, introspection, and growth. The most devastating part? He never even got the chance to tell his side of the story. The pages were never published. The interview was never shared. And the voice that had stayed silent for so long remained unheard, silenced once again by hatred. It was a clear sign of how fragile reputation can be in the internet age, how one wave of outrage can topple even the most carefully planned comeback. Amidst the disappointment, a glimmer of truth emerged from someone who had been there that day. A professional photographer named Zhang Yu stepped forward on social media, claiming to be the one who had shot the now-scrapped editorial. He didn't stay silent. Instead, he poured his heart out in a long, emotional post that caught the attention of many fans. Zhang Yu described the day of the shoot as one of the most memorable moments in his career. He praised Xiao Zhan not just for his professionalism, but for his warmth and authenticity. According to him, Xiao Zhan arrived on time, greeted every crew member with respect, and stayed focused throughout the long hours of shooting. Even when the lights were off, the cameras paused, or the stylist adjusted something for the 10th time, he never once complained. What struck Zhang Yu the most, however, was Xiao Zhan's emotional presence. During the shoot, there were quiet moments when the star appeared reflective, lost in thought, eyes distant yet still calm. It was clear to everyone in the room that he was carrying something heavy, and yet he never let it disrupt the flow of work. Zhang confessed that of all the celebrities he'd worked with, Xiao Zhan was the one who left the deepest impression. His post ended with a note of sorrow. It's a tragedy that the world won't see this side of him. It's not just a missed issue, it's a missed chance to heal. And then there was the interview, a deeply personal conversation between Xiao Zhan and Esquire's chief editor, conducted in a quiet room after the photo shoot wrapped. Those present said it lasted over 3 hours, during which Xiao Zhan opened up in a way he had never done before. For months, critics and netizens had demanded an apology from him. They wanted him to speak, to control his fandom, to somehow answer for actions that were never directly his own. But Xiao Zhan chose patience. He chose thoughtfulness. He chose to speak through a medium that allowed for context, depth, and reflection, not a rushed post, but a structured, sincere dialogue. Sources say the interview touched on everything from his overnight fame after the Untamed, to the painful backlash in early 2020, to the emotional toll it took on his family and mental health. He spoke of lessons learned, mistakes acknowledged, and the desire to move forward with integrity. He didn't blame anyone. He just wanted to be heard. But that moment never came. The interview, so carefully conducted, was shelved. Fans never got to read his words. The public never got to understand the man behind the headlines. In a world where cancel culture moves at lightning speed, the tragedy was that Xiao Zhan tried to do the right thing and still lost the platform to do so. Despite the heartbreak, Xiao Zhan's story is far from over. In fact, it may just be beginning. Because what this moment revealed was not just the cruelty of cancel culture, but the resilience of a man who refused to be defined by it. Xiao Zhan could have lashed out. He could have made a dramatic statement or gone on live streams to defend himself. But he didn't. He chose grace over vengeance, silence over scandal. And through that silence, he allowed his fans to speak louder than ever before. In the years since that cancelled issue, Xiao Zhan has slowly rebuilt his career with performances that speak volumes. Whether in dramatic roles, variety shows, or musical performances, he has shown depth, range, and a quiet strength that resonates far beyond his fan base. He is no longer just a star from the Untamed. He is a symbol of perseverance in the face of hate. And even though the Esquire interview was never published, the world can still feel what Xiao Zhan wanted to say. I'm still here. I've grown. I care. And I'm not giving up. Though the pages of that May 2020 issue were never printed, what Xiao Zhan went through during that time became an unwritten chapter in his legacy, a chapter defined not by glamorous photos or public statements, but by inner strength and quiet dignity. For any other celebrity, being erased from a top magazine after completing all the hard work might have been a breaking point. For Xiao Zhan, it became fuel. In the wake of the cancelled feature, something remarkable happened. His fanbase, instead of turning against the star for staying silent, rallied even more fiercely behind him. Across social media platforms, hashtags demanding justice for Xiao Zhan trended for days. Artworks, fan letters, and videos flooded the internet, all carrying the same message. We see you. We believe in you. Even more surprising was the shift in public sentiment. Slowly but surely, people began to question the fairness of the backlash he had faced. Journalists, cultural critics, and fellow celebrities began to speak out, defending Xiao Zhan's character and work ethic. Some even criticized the media for bending under anti-fan pressure, suggesting that truth and talent should never be censored out of fear. What Xiao Zhan showed the world wasn't just resilience, it was transformation. Through hardship, he grew into a stronger, more mature version of himself. Every role he's taken on since then carries the weight of that silent struggle, adding a layer of vulnerability and authenticity that sets him apart in the crowded world of fame. That missing magazine issue may never surface, but the story behind it will always be remembered. Because sometimes, the most powerful stories are the ones that never got the chance to be told until now. Thank you for staying with us through this emotional story, one that many never knew, but everyone should hear. If you found this story powerful, moving, or thought-provoking, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. What do you think Xiao Zhan would have said in that interview? How should we treat our celebrities when they're down? Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive stories, interviews, and honest explorations of the lives behind the spotlight. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and share this video. Let's keep this conversation going. Let's support not just the star, but the person, Xiao Zhan, the man with courage behind the silence.